Hello, dear friends, and to the general public. My name is Carla Bouvier, and those that have been following my story, I'm here with you today to give you some more updates of what's going on. I'm gonna try to stay away from the updates because right now, the phrase that they say has hit the fan. I mean, we are here. It's open. It's out in the open. Um, I'm going to give you another short synopsis of how this was created and why it is so bizarre that we're even here discussing such, in my life, in one's life. No one has a right to dictate a person's life, especially not in this way, in this manner. This just is totally bizarre. So, for those that are just tuning in, my name is Carla Bouvier, and the story is about my life, my atrocities, my near fatalities. The people that I'm talking about literally went as far, became so obsessed, jealous, envy, lust, to where they nearly murdered me. In 2004, they went as far as to, with their political connections, they went as far as to putting pressure on the doctors, on the medical doctors, giving me a deadly combination of prescribed drugs. I believe that was the way Marilyn Monroe, from what, you know, um, people have surmised, that killed her. And you have to really be careful with prescribed meds. But however, at that point, I trusted the doctor. And rather than these people admitting and rectifying the mistakes, it got worse. They kept trying to cover and cover. And that's usually what happens when crimes are committed. People are not going to openly admit that they've hurt you or they've nearly murdered you because they know the consequences of legalities. So instead of rectifying, and instead of just saying, Carla, okay, we're going to give you your place to stay, we're going to give you your back pay, your housing, so you and your kids can, get your lives back on track. No. These monsters were relentless. They were not going to stop. My ex, Jim McGarrigle, refused. He was one of the people I'm talking about. He refused to accept that the relationship was over. I wanted out. And I think because of Jim's ties with someone in politics, many have speculated, Clinton, Kennedys, Bush, Rumsfeld, so on, etc. And Jim felt that he was above the law. You're talking about people taking power out of control, abusing power. Then we had Peter Morin, the former state rep I met when I was mingling and socializing on the Cape. And Tom Florence. These were two people who had some power. Again, people abusing power, taking it totally out of control. I think all of these people together, from Peter, from Richard Klefstedt, from Jim McGarrigle, from all of them, I think all these people that I had met or had some type of encounter with, they became obsessed. These men refused to know. And Tiny DeVars, he was one of the main ones, refused to know. Anytime a person feels that a person is rejecting them and they become irate and they feel that they've lost, well, that relationship wasn't going to work anyway, regardless. Because a relationship is not about conquering a person. It's not about, conquering. And I think that's what these men felt, that they had to conquer me. And when I didn't participate in the manner that they wanted, whoa, I nearly ended up dead. And that's where the illegal part come in, for people to go to that extreme. I think not all of them went to the extreme. Well, I guess maybe I can't say that. Maybe they all did. I'd have to say they all did, because what one wasn't doing, the other one was doing. And then we have my family in Texas that was trying to hide the secret of my biological status. This was just a disaster waiting to happen, people. A disaster. I think what happened is after Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, learned the truth, I think some people was putting some pressure on Ted, on the senator. I think some of those people might have been Peter, Jim, Tavares. So you got to understand, all these people were in the mix. They all knew, everyone knew powerful people, entities. That's why I said it was just a disaster waiting to happen. You've got this group of people here that probably knew the Kennedys. This one may have known Kerry, John Kerry. You've got, Kerry, Kennedy, and Franks. They all knew each other. Before you knew it, there was some friction even within politics, because you had one politician doing a favor for this person while the other one was doing a favor for this person, and I'm fighting for my life. And the only thing I'm asking is, please stop. You guys are going to kill me. I mean, that's pretty blatant. That's pretty just self-evident. If a person says, if you all don't stop, you're going to kill me. They didn't hear that. They didn't hear any of that. They didn't care. I was literally moving every 3 months. Sometimes sooner. As soon as I got in a place, kaboom, we were out of there. We were evicted. And this was just constantly. They were going to break me down and make me go back to Jim, Peter, Tiny, or one of those men. How does politics get involved in something like this? This shouldn't be. So this is where people started to surmising and speculating. This shows how smart these people are. The lowlifes that was putting the pressure on the politicians. They weren't. A woman like me, they didn't even think twice that I'd come fighting back. They never anticipated I'd be on YouTube, Facebook. They didn't think that, because, again, I was always a private person. So I had to think, is my privacy more important than my life? I was in a life and death position. It's like from my cars, they put a tracking device on my car. They wanted to watch my every move. I even had my neighbors telling me places where I was living. Every place I moved in, they already knew about me. They already knew what to charge me for rent. Like a person in the States stated, I can't give his name, but if we go to trial, which I hope we do, I will give his name and her name, their names. They said, Miss Bouvier, they are giving you only enough to barely get by, because they wanted to keep me in one spot. Well, by that time, when we got the stupid politicians, they thought they'd get together. Well, let's see. This is what we're going to make her do. This is what, because she's fighting back, we're just going to do this and that. And no, this is not what she needs. We know what she needs. No, we have these people in power making decisions on my life after they've done favors for the lowlifes to tear me down. People, I don't know if you all get it, but this is a no-brainer. That's fucked up. Excuse my terminology. That is totally screwed up. How are a group of politicians that's doing favors for lowlifes that have already torn me down, wrongfully evicted me for years, trafficked me from place to place, put pressure on that poor doctor to give me bad prescribed drugs, as I was told. They was trying to keep you there. Sent a constable out to my house in 2003 that told me if I tried to leave the state of Massachusetts, I was going to have problems. Do not leave. It's going to get worse. Then when they decided they wanted me out of Massachusetts, and they tore me down even more. I don't know if you all are getting it, but this sounds totally insane. None of these people could have anything to think with. How is it? I'm going to even turn the tables. How I'm going to be in office and some idiot come to me for a favor to tear somebody's life down? Okay, just hypothetically speaking, I'm in office per se. Then after I've torn the person's life down, do I really think I'm going to go and start making decisions for them? And you wonder why I use the term stupid. If the shoe fits, wear it. I think too, after Kennedy learned some stuff, Kennedy probably learned at that time who I was. He knew something. For some reason, Kennedy was afraid before he passed, because I had written Ted Kennedy. I had spoken to his liaisons. Oh, I was talking to a lot of the politicians' people. From Frank's office, from Congressman Frank's office to Teresa Murray. I can understand why all these people had some fear. You know, people, it never should have come to this. But you know, the old saying, if you put a cat in a corner, even a little small cat, a kitten's going to come out fighting if you trap it in a corner. And you all put me in a corner. And I had my disabled son with me. This child was just in and out of the hospital. He was having regression, and I was dealing with these people tearing me down. I couldn't break down. Everything within me was I just kept it all solid inside. But the end result, it was affecting my health. My kidneys was malfunctioning. My blood pressure was at stroke and heart attack level. Since then, the doctor has put me on a bear a day, you know, just to prevent that, hoping it will. And my bones were aching to the point to where I couldn't even get up and walk in the mornings. I just couldn't walk because I was just aching all over. That's the type of depression and stress I had. And God forbid I'd taken any more medicine. At that point, they probably would have tried to kill me because of the Pandora's box was opening. This just goes to show that I think this should be a valuable lesson to all of us. It goes to show that some people, you give one person too much power, and especially with the mentality of some of these people, that's a disaster. That is not good. And I think they had given Jim McGarrigle too much power, Peter Moran too much power, Tiny Tavares too much power. You know, it's one thing when people take power and do useful things with it, like helping the community, trying to help make it a better, you know, place for everyone to live. But you know, the irony of this is the same laws that these politicians was in Congress fighting, you know, to create are the same ones that they were violating for lowlifes, because everybody had something on the other one. It was almost like multi-tier. They, you know, it was just going totally downhill. Fools is a very good term for them. You call that foolish people. The politicians should have put these people out of commission a long time ago, regardless to what they had known on them, and we wouldn't be here. But when you get people as like John Kerry, Senator John Kerry, I had written that man, I have no idea how many times. I think John Kerry had actually been manipulated by a lot of these people. Oh, I think so. So this is where people start surmising. Well, it's not making any sense. Why would the politicians keep doing something like this and you're fighting back? Well, again, they weren't anticipating that. Carla Bouvier has always been private, a private person. I sing. That's the only thing that people would hear about me. But no, I wouldn't have even remotely thought of coming on YouTube, Facebook, anything. It was humiliating to me. Humiliating. Nobody wanted that. Not my family, not my kids. But again, if you put even a little kitten in the corner, it's going to fight. We are born naturally to defend ourselves. That's our instinct if someone is hurting you. Natural instinct tells people to defend themselves. Unless something is wrong with the person, like for instance, a special needs person that's, disabled and can't defend themselves. And it's just I'm lost for words at this point. I cannot believe that it escalated. And the thing about this is each and every time these people were trying to cover it rather than just doing the right thing and getting it over with. They kept trying to cover it. They weren't fixing it the right way. They were fixing a problem for me that they created their way. So common sense should tell us how that was going to turn out, right? I get people coming to my walls saying, "Oh, I've been through this, I've been through this." No, you haven't. These people tapped my phone lines. They knew every move. It started out as a joke. I think Jim wanted my phone lines tapped. I think somebody in my family wanted my phone lines tapped to watch my every move. People, this should teach us something. You don't become obsessed, that obsessed with anyone. And they did. These people became totally obsessed with me. At the end, I would even ask Rick Fusaro when he admitted he was sent. Thank God he did. I said to Rick, Rick, what do they want? He says, "Carla, I don't think they even know. They don't know they wanted to tear you down." I said, "Rick, why did they do this to me?" I asked him. I looked him right in his eyes. He said, "Carla, it's because of who you are." I said, "Because of who I am?" Explain that. "Because of who you are, Carla." I said, "So why would they do this because of who I am?" He says, "Jealousy, envy, lust, obsession." Crazed people that represent our nation participating with people that became crazed, obsessed, lustful, envy, jealous. And they followed the same pursuit. So, people, that was a disaster waiting to happen. I mean, they had everything monitored, even the houses that I was going in. People told me, "Carla, they've got listening devices and cameras in the houses you're living in." These people have probably seen all kind of personal things. They've listened to all my personal conversations. You have no idea what it feels like to be violated. And for those that say don't be a victim, or don't be a victim, be a warrior, or the only way you're going to have to be you can even become a warrior and be a winner and defeat your enemies is you have to accept that these people are victimizing you. You have to stand your ground and defend yourself. Bottom line, these people victimize me. Bottom line, are they going to win? I doubt it. Without a doubt, in my heart, they will not. Will disaster strike? Oh, obviously. Will I get my life back? Without a doubt. But the Bible tells us the wages of sin is death. And all of this is sin. None of this should have ever happened. No one, I am not going to be alienated and isolated and victimized by people, very powerful people, because of who I am and because I'm fighting for my life. in which life is what I believe in, because Jesus died so that we could have life. No, he didn't die so we could have a perfect life, but so we could have life. Life to everyone should be a learning experience for the new life that he prepares for us. And I pray daily to forgive these people, but how do you forgive a continuous evil? These people continuously. I think it ceased in some because of the information that was leaked out by some reporters. Everyone was asking why with these people, but why would they interact with these lowlifes? What do these lowlifes have on these people? Well, again, it was speculated that the lowlife group, the ones I named, have something on some politician or a group of politicians. I'm not for sure, but I was told that they were into acts of pedophilia with kids. But I'm going to make this statement or remark to the person or the group of persons that's holding this over the politician's head. You're worse than the politicians in the heinous acts, if all of it is alleged to be true. Which, personally, I feel there may be some strong validity to it. Because why else? They would have to have something. And I hear everything. People come from me everywhere, but what is this? What is that? People face it. People do stupid things. People get asphyxiated on people. People become obsessed with people. Unfortunately, I was one of them. And I mean that strongly. I say that strongly, with conviction. Unfortunately, I was one of them. Because there is no glamour at all in anyone getting obsessed with you to the point to where they would go to the extremities of even murdering you. And I mean, the things that I've survived, I'm surprised that I just haven't had a heart attack or stroke and died. And yes, sure, certainly you see the exterior. Come on, people, let's get real here. If I come on Facebook or YouTube with my hair like a bush, boom, no makeup, ungroomed, would you believe me? Think about it. Think about it. Mankind, we are programmed to believe exactly what we see. It's true. But however, to the people, if you are holding this god-awful alleged acts against this politician, you are worse than that politician. You would, it just sickens me to think that people would go to that degree to even forsake children, a nation, a group of people, because they become obsessed with one person, one woman, me. That alone is sick. There's a whole world out there. And I'm going to make a plea like I've done before. And to that man that told the politicians, no, let her suffer. God have mercy on your soul. But your eyes are going to lift up. And you're going to meet your Maker. And I can tell you this, it will not be pretty. And I know this, what you have for me is not love. Love does not work that way. If you acquire a person's company, a lady's company, or a person's company, you introduce yourself. And I can remember these words from Paul Baisley from the Kennedy Donovan Center, verbatim. I asked, is it a man? Yes. He stated yes. I said, what does he want? He said he wants your company. I says, okay. Well, does he want to meet me? He says he's already met you. I says, okay. I said, is he listening to our conversation? He said yes. My throat got so tight, the pain I felt so violated. I felt so raped. When he told me he was listening, I says, do the politicians know it? Yes. I said, is this man crazy? Paul said, yes. And he was going to stop at no end. Well, to the man that was listening to Paul Baisley and I in 2005 at my number, which was 508-495-0059 and 508-540-5923, which apparently the government have those numbers on block now because no one can obtain those numbers, and I haven't been able to obtain them either. But to this man, I can say this. This is the end. And no, you will not win. I'm trying to find it in my heart to forgive a person that would allow themselves to become so obsessed with a person to where you would risk everything, even nearly murdering that person, putting so much stress on that person, hoping that I would die because you can't have me. That's sick. Love is not in that. I pray that I can forgive you. There's other people I have to forgive for lying to me about my birthright. And I think that only instigated things, that only escalated things when they learned of my newfound biological status. And I just can't tell you people the lies that's going around and the games and the finger pointing and the threats amongst these people. It is unbelievable. Nothing good is going to come to this. Nothing at all. Oh, God's going to grant me my life back. Without a doubt, I have faith. My kids will smile again. Will we be the same? Ever be the same? No. I doubt it, seriously. We won't. Why I've lasted this long, it's got to be His grace. But my body aches and pains. And I present myself groomed and well because I have to. I have to be heard. Carla Bouvier. I'll be back.